so good.
So, yeah, let's do that.
We just need to have an all-around podcast with this.
Yeah.
We do need to do an all-around podcast.
We've said this.
Justin would be so upset if we did a Harry Potter podcast without him.
That would be funny. Now, have you read the books, though?
That's his penance.
Uh-huh.
The books are better.
I have not read the books, personally.
That's sad.
You haven't read the Harry Potter books?
I haven't read the books, no.
I've read very few books.
So much better in the movies.
But the one thing about this is we are a podcast about Star Wars.
We are a Star Wars podcast.
Wow. Hey, Shane. You got a...
Wow.
Wow. What do you got going on there, sir?
You got something blinking. That is a big whitehead, by the way.
Yeah, that's fine. Hold on. Let's get the targeting ready here. Maybe.
I don't know.
Hold on. I don't know what's happening.
Wait.
There we go.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Now we're ready.
What is that?
What do you do as a profession? You have so much money to buy toys.
I turned in my Darth Revan lightsaber for the Boba Fett prototype helmet.
Dang.
Let's not talk about that lightsaber again. I had somebody say that we talked way too long about the lightsaber.
Well, you know what? You can tell
Glad
them
I wasn't here for that.
they're watching the wrong stream if they don't want lightsaber talk. So, yeah.
So is this your mask?
Yeah, I got tired of being ridiculed.
Is this your co-bibble mask?
I got tired of being ridiculed for my looks, so I figured let's just go with the mask from now on. So,
And you got Padme? We got Padme on here too?
we do have Padme. Bonnie's proving how much
Look
she
at that.
loves
Look at that.
Padme.
It's not Padme.
No,
Queen
it's
Amidala, but I'm washed out.
she is
The washed out queen.
she is proving how much she loves
Washed up.
Padme by
Yeah.
dressing up as her.
And you're proving how much you like stuff.
Yeah, you look around me, guys. I mean, I'm a stuff guy.
There's no like select. It's just like stuff.
Look, guys, it's not targeting.
I love that you got Yoda just down there. I love how there's 3 people on this podcast.
Did we lose Bonnie?
Hey, I'll see you later, guys.
Where did Ace go? It's really hard to see
I don't
what's
know.
going on in this thing, so they didn't build this
back.
for actually being able to see out of.
I'm back.
That
Okay,
is
sorry.
pretty awesome, though.
I had to plug in my computer.
Uh-oh.
I've made that mistake.
About ran out of battery.
Yeah. I was like, oh, what?
Bonnie, I do
Okay.
appreciate you embracing your love for Padme.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, it's because I looked up like costumes for the Revan character, and I couldn't do that. They were really expensive, so I just went around my house finding things, and I was like, I guess I'll be Queen Amidala.
You should have told me I would have dressed up as Padme with you.
You should have.
I should have. I should have. Next time.
Yeah.
Next time.
That is awesome, though. I like your setup. I like the mask. Ginger Fett.
Ginger
I didn't
Fat.
even realize your name. I didn't even realize
Ginger
your
Fat,
name.
guys.
Yep.
Okay.
See if I can put this back together.
Since we are talking about toys, let's go on to some of the new Black Series toys. Have you guys seen those things?
I have not.
Yes, I have. I'm probably going to own most of them.
So
Change your
Most of
name.
them.
Change your name to Star Wars stuff.
To Star Wars stuff?
The stuff guy. Whatever.
I mean, not all my stuff is Star Wars, though. I've got like 80% Destiny in here. Look at this. Now I'm all red. That mask is not made for comfort.
You already been read.
Yeah.
Neither
Neither
was that lightsaber, though, right?
No, the lightsaber. God, do we really want to go down that road again? Because I will. I'll go down that road again.
Okay, so here let's pull this up so we can get going. So this is the new Black Series stuff.
Oh God!
Oh,
Not
that's
another
cool.
lightsaber. Not another lightsaber.
But look at the handle on this one. That is
Here-
quality right there.
It does look better.
It looks better than the Revan one. It looks a little more comfortable. Is it a removable blade?
It looks like it's green. There's
No,
a
but
green to
But
it.
is it removable? Because with the Revan lightsaber, the blade is removable, but when it seats back in there, it doesn't feel as tight as the other lightsabers.
She said.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. It doesn't. It doesn't feel as tight as the other lightsabers. It's got a little more wobble in it.
That's what she said.
We're gonna continue this. I noticed some people's complained about the sensor. It's not as. You know what? I'm done.
More chocolate lightsabers. Let's go.
Come on. How do
Y'all
they love
notice-
it?
Did you notice that the Ahsoka on there looks like it doesn't look like the cartoon
It doesn't
Ahsoka?
look like the cartoon Ahsoka
It's
at
like
all.
more like a-
Rosario.
Yeah,
It looks
more
like
like
Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, it does.
I
That's
also
pretty cool
find it
looking, though.
interesting that she's holding two of them, but they're only selling one of them.
Yeah, I was about to say, does it come with two?
No, it's
That's
two.
down.
I think it's $229. So it's definitely only one. But this is the Elite FX. Obviously, that's what it says. Which is the same upgrade as the Revan one. So it will have two Kyber crystals with it, I believe. I think it's two, but it will come with a removable Kyber crystal, and it will come with like the stand that the Revan has, which was probably the best part of it. It's like a metal stand where the lightsaber can actually sit on. It's pretty cool. I don't know.
I liked it.
I'm probably.
It
gonna
looks
get
pretty cool.
It's cool.
I mean, I just like the slick silver style, and no, there's not like any extra.
Yeah, there's
junk
not
on
these
it.
stupid ridges right in the middle of your palm.
As far as you know, anyways. Okay, let's move on to the next. See what the next one was. I'm zoomed out way far, so there it is. So the new Boba Fett. I think we actually
This-
saw this one last
that's-
week.
Yeah.
Didn't we?
This is the deluxe scale, so it'll be a little more than your normal Black Series, but it's cool.
Yeah, I like it.
It's really
Can't
cool. I
be
think you
Boba
can
Fett.
prove.
It's got
I think you
his-
can prove
his
it right
blaster
now.
too, out of his back jetpack.
Oh, that's cool.
What's with the gun?
It's. I think you. I think it's made to like break apart.
It snaps together. I don't. That's weird.
I don't know. Did the gun get shot in any of the movies? Does he get a gun shot out of his hand in Return of the Jedi?
I don't remember that.
I don't know.
If he does,
Does Luke cut it in half with a lightsaber
probably makes sense.
He does.
on that
yeah,
barge?
He, does.
He cuts his.
Yeah.
He cuts his gun.
He
in half
does
with the
cut it.
lightsaber?
He does
Yeah.
cut it with the lightsaber.
So that's his cut in half one.
It's an odd thing to put in there though.
Interesting.
that's just a piece
Star
of
Wars
waiting to get
fans are
lost if you
very
take it out.
Star Wars fans are very specific.
You can charge an extra
I
$10.
want-
No,
for
we're
the
not.
Yeah.
Don't tell me what I am.
I want the gun cut in half.
So this is the incinerator trooper from the
Yep, from the Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
down here. He always looks funny like this. That weird red. It almost makes me
I
feel
like
like the guy that's in the cockpit with Lando in Return of the Jedi. You know who I'm talking about?
No. No.
Has the the huge floppy cheeks that are like right here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I
Okay,
love
on
this.
the next one.
I love this style of packaging.
That's just a normal Attack of the Clone Trooper.
That's
But we
a
haven't
phase,
seen any of these, have
That's
we?
a phase 1 clone trooper. So a lot of these people will buy to build armies. So it's cool if you need a phase 1. Look at
The
that.
box on this one looks awesome. Like the whole set. It
Sick,
looks slick.
man.
That's cool.
Is this one scroll down a little? Is this exclusive to somebody? $29.99. That's cheap for all the armor and stuff.
It doesn't say exclusive though. But that was a cool.
Go down. It says available for pre-order at Hasbro Pulse. Okay. I wonder if that's a Pulse exclusive. That's cool
I
though.
don't know. This
Oh,
one
good God.
was kind of weird.
Gotta have a Jar Jar. Have they
I guess
made
you
a
have to
Jar
have
Jar in
one.
the Black Series?
Oh
He's got
my
his little
God.
force shield and everything.
There's
and
never
he's-
been a Black Series.
and he's
I
got
mean
his
the
little-
shield. The shield's pretty cool. I mean I like that.
I mean, he's got his little electric orb thing too. So
Yeah.
I'm not buying the Jar Jar figure.
Yeah, it won't touch the shelf.
But which would
Okay,
you rather
so-
have, Jar Jar or Rose Tico?
Jar Jar, the whole
That's
army of Jar
Jar
Jars.
100%.
I'll buy 20 Jar Jars before I buy a Rose
Yep.
Tico. And I'm pretty sure I
Okay.
could find a Rose Tico on clearance for $1. So
So
Run it,
here's
Disney.
here's the holiday edition Black Series, which I thought was fake until I saw the actual the full set.
This makes
I-
me laugh because have you guys seen the meme of the stormtrooper? You know, comparing to Elf on the Shelf. It says "trooper on a pooper," like the stormtroopers on the
No, I
toilet.
have not seen
So
that.
now they've got an actual Christmas one.
There's several actually. You got the clone trooper, just the normal one.
God.
The holiday stormtrooper.
Why?
Yeah.
nice.
I don't know what is
It's not a
this?
board.
What is this
Porg.
thing?
It's like a holiday
Porg.
porg. It almost looks like a
That is-
Halloween porg. He's like in a sheet or something.
I love that it looks like he has a
Something's wrong.
Christmas sweater on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't in the
It is. It's like a Christmas sweater.
I'd be more interested in the actual Christmas sweater.
but there's more
Oh God.
Sith troopers.
Is that a what?
Oh,
Is that a
we got,
Ryan?
Jar.
No, that's Bobby Freak right there.
Yeah.
No, but
Wow.
what is
He was
this
talking about
giant thing
this.
here? What is that?
That looks like that thing that he was
the
when he was
shock
fighting
thing
Finn.
that he was swinging.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It does. It looks like a Nerf gun though, right there.
Looks like a little.
Maybe
Looks
he's
like
a
that.
nerf herder.
And
Oh
this is the
my
last
God.
one.
Range trooper,
A range trooper.
and that's Santa.
And
Dio.
Yeah.
Dio, the reindeer.
Like- I feel like
The
you're gonna be
red
able to
Oh,
nose.
he's
find
got
these.
a little red nose.
Lead
Like,
this-
I like all the
Dio, the
Oh,
red
what was
nose
his name?
droid.
So I've got a hint, guys. I got a tip actually for y'all. This is a good tip. About January, you're going to be able to buy these things really cheap.
really cheap.
right there.
Just wait.
Yep.
I mean, you're going to get these really cheap in January.
If you want to buy
Yeah.
them, like, I mean, do you really want to display those year round? I don't even want to put them up during Christmas.
For all you Star Wars, for all you Star Wars people that love Christmas, like like the person that's like Griswold in their house right now already, those are the people that are going to buy that.
Here's the real question, though: is would Bonnie be more excited if they were Halloween?
Yes, I would buy them if they were Halloween.
I would be more
like
excited about Halloween ones.
Like, you
Yeah.
could do some cool stuff with
Okay.
Halloween ones.
So a Sith trooper that looks like the Crow.
Oh, that'd be cool.
See, that's cool stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, that would
I
be
like
really
that.
cool.
Hold on,
Or
let
Jack
me,
Skellington.
let me go to the idea guy on this one. Come on, idea guy. What do you got?
I mean-
apparently nothing.
You're fired. You're no longer the idea guy. Screw
It's,
you.
it's Ginger Fed today. I wasn't, Ginger Fed today.
No, you're no longer the idea guy.
I think because they have masks, I think it would be better if they were dressed either like Jason or Michael Myers.
Oh
No,
my
that would
gosh,
be
if they
cool.
did the boogeyman.
I would like that.
See, Ace is now the
That'd be
idea
awesome.
guy. He's got way better ideas.
You could do Nightmare Before Christmas themed
You
ones. That would be
could.
really cool.
Disney owns it anyways.
Disney does own it. See, you don't even have to pay for the licensing rights.
Hmm. I would buy
like
that.
that.
like,
And
in a
everything Nightmare Before Christmas sells. I mean,
Yes.
people eat that stuff up. So,
Mm-hmm.
come on, guys, it's a no-brainer. I would consider it. Like, you
I
could
have
do
a
some cool
box
stuff.
full of Nightmare Before Christmas stuff right here that I got from Hot Topic.
Hot Topic always has Nightmare Before Christmas stuff.
I'm just saying, I would buy it.
It always feels like a nightmare when you're walking
Queen.
into Hot Topic.
I mean, I just bought some shirts from Hot Topic. I mean, you know,
The queen has
They
spoken.
had some really cute Star Wars, the like ugly Christmas sweaters, and then the onesies from
I
I guess
remember when I was a-
that were on sale.
I
I'd
remember
be
when I was a
interested in the ugly
teenager, I
Christmas
used to go to Hot Topic and I'd go to the back and just giggle.
So
Oh goodness!
yeah,
That was last
So-
week, just for the record. Joey,
Yeah.
Joey was
Top-
in there on Monday.
Yeah.
Hot Topic was the only place at one point that I could get earrings, and so I'd have to go in there for it because I
Yep.
get the big studs. And I'm looking around, I'm like, I never wear any of this stuff.
They like your makeup. They like the
Yeah.
queen's makeup.
I still shop there, so
Nothing wrong with that.
Anyways, let's
Yeah.
let's,
What you
let's
like?
Necessary? Your makeup is necessary?
Hey,
I'm just
so-
glad,
Silver,
I'm just glad
Silver
you're finally
Tucker.
admitting how much you love
Sorry.
Padme. You're making my
ahead.
heart
you
warm.
notice we have our background here is Star Wars Squadrons. Is anybody ready for that?
I already bought it.
It's only downloading right now. That's all.
I already
it's
downloaded
only
it.
downloading.
10
I pick up-
o'clock, guys.
I
I'll
pick
be
up mine
So,
tomorrow.
so Joey,
Oh.
Joey, how ready are you? Can you show us how ready you are?
Yeah, I mean, I can show it. Yeah, hold on. Let me share my screen here. And I'll show you.
I got a
Hold on.
bad feeling
I gotta-
about this.
Well, hold on. I'm just looking at the screen, making sure I'm not giving away any of my, like,
I was about to say, hey, go to your
Login
purchase page.
information.
right, exactly. Hold on. There we go. Here's screen. It's coming. It's coming. There it is. Ready to go.
Let's see.
I was hoping you would have been a little more prepared.
Yeah, I'm prepared. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to
I
go
just
right
threw, I
now.
just threw it at him.
Go ahead and
It's
click
already
play.
installed. Ready to
Oh,
go,
wow.
guys.
All he has to do is hit play right there.
Stan, let me show you. Just go to the store. It says 3 hours, approximately 3 hours. We'll be playing this right here. Look at that. Look at that. Oh,
That move in VR is going to be pretty nauseating, but I'm really excited.
it's going to be
Probably.
good.
It's probably
it'll
gonna
be worth it.
It's going to be good, guys.
That's exciting. So that's So I don't have a good computer for that, and I'm not going to buy it
Yeah,
on
I
the
don't either.
PlayStation just yet. I'm going to wait for the news PlayStation before I do that.
Guys,
So
yeah, you need a good computer. Frame
I might
rates.
have my husband buy it because he has one of those big built CPUs.
Yeah, there
That's what
you
I'm
go.
gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do.
I bought it on computer. I'm gonna give it a shot. So I'm excited.
So
I'll have more to say about it next week.
Yeah.
yes, you're going to play it live for us a little bit for like
Sure.
a couple minutes.
Okay.
I'll be
Sure.
allowed
You'll be
to.
VR in it though. Nobody will be able to see it.
Got it right here. Let's see. You're like right there. I can touch you.
Hey, stop touching the people that are watching.
Sorry.
Anyways, okay. So they dropped a new trailer. Did anybody get to see that? I know that we kind of we shared it a couple times together, but did y'all watch that?
I don't think I've seen it.
No, I guess I didn't even catch that.
I didn't even notice anyone dropped it.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Okay, so let's take a quick look. It's not like a ton of new stuff, but it definitely has added a few extra shots of the child.
That's all that matters.
Oh yes.
I'm pulling it up. Promise. Here we go. Maybe.
Show me the one whose safety deemed such destruction. You must reunite it with its own kind.
You expect me to search the galaxy and deliver this creature to a race of enemy
Somebody recorded
sorcerers?
this, so it's a little
This is the way.
digitized. And that was it. Oh, man.
Was it just
No news team.
The Mandalorian new season
Yeah,
streaming
nothing
soon
new.
on
it just seemed like cut up parts of the first trailer.
Yeah.
There was a few shots at the beginning of the child, though, and then the shots of what's the dude's name that he gets the bounties from?
Grease Arga.
Yeah,
Yeah, that guy.
Also, too, that seems like all the. So you remember a couple weeks ago we had that Grace Randolph report about Pedro Pascal leaving in the middle of it. There's more people coming out and they're basically kind of confirming it, but saying that everything's fine now and it's kind of all been put to rest. So it's from what it sounds like from reading all the different people is that it was an issue, but their plan from the beginning was to about halfway into the season was to go a different, like more wide route because we're going to be getting a bunch of spinoffs off of Mandalorian, the Filoni universe as they call it. So, so it seems like that was always the plan, anyways. But they did confirm that there was some like rumblings and he wasn't happy. But he's there. He's here to stay. He'll be there for 3 as of now. So
he is actually going to be in the suit.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I don't know about that, but I'm just kind of reporting what I've heard other people talk about it.
Okay.
So.
Because I had heard that he was just going to become the voice actor, so I'm curious.
I mean, I'm sure he still, from what I understand, he still wants more stuff with no mask, but I mean, it just depends on what Filoni and Favreau decide they're doing with that. So I'm sure they have it planned out.
I'm hoping they don't cave. I mean, they should stick to it.
Well, I think if you just let the story play out, eventually you're probably going to get some scenes with no mask, right? I mean,
right.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe you don't, but
since you have your Yoda that's popping up, why don't you explain to Aaron real quick
who the child is?
Ace.
So, Aaron, I would encourage you to go watch The Mandalorian, but the child is who we refer to as Baby Yoda. So that's who the child is. He doesn't really have a name, which is why they call him the child. But of course, he looks like Yoda. We don't really know much about the species outside of Yaddle.
Hey, don't bring that name up.
So that's who the child is.
We don't talk about Yaddle, Aaron. We don't talk about Yaddle. Like, just don't Google Yaddle. Don't do it. Save yourself that.
I dare you.
Save yourself that.
Keep them coming. Any more questions we can take?
I would love some more questions.
Always open for
Joey,
questions.
I still don't have. I don't care how many people report it. It just doesn't make sense on a whole bunch of levels. As far as a season of an actor that Pedro Pascal is, it just doesn't make sense. And the fact that the Mandalorian doesn't have to take off his helmet, so even if he were to quit tomorrow, they would just replace him, and it wouldn't change a thing because it was never about him. And the thing is because of the fact that they established in the first season that this is the way and not to take off his helmet, then it's not really that big of a deal. You got people, there's plenty of voice actors that can replicate his voice and they can manipulate it. They have enough footage of audio of him that they can manipulate the voice to turn it into that. So that is why it doesn't make sense to me. Not saying that it's not true, but I'm just saying it just wouldn't make any sense for it to be that way. Secondly, though, what is interesting though, is because of the fact people have been speculating that Sabine Wren is going to be a part of the Mandalorian too, and we know from people who have watched Rebels that she is actually Mandalorian, and they weren't keen on wearing their masks like the religion of the Mandalorian is right now. So that's interesting for her to come in, and especially if Sasha Banks is Sabine Wren. She didn't have her helmet on, so that's very interesting because obviously when we last saw the two, we saw Ahsoka and Sabine, and she just carries her mask. She only really puts it on when she's in combat.
I don't disagree with anything you just said, and I don't think anything I said would go against what you just said. Because I don't disagree. Like anybody can play that part, and they could get anybody to do it. All the report is that he wanted a bigger part. He wanted to be seen more, and he got upset about it. But everything's fine now. So I don't know.
Can Mandalorians take their mask off around other Mandalorians?
What's that? It didn't seem like.
I mean, can he take his mask off when he's with the other Mandalorians? Like, maybe no.
When did the
so when did this happen that they couldn't take their mask off?
Yeah,
because
I think that the Mandalorians that we see here, they made it evident in season 1 that you didn't have to be born from Mandalore or to be a Mandalorian. It almost became a religion, and so the religious part of it is that this is the way we're doing X, Y, and Z. We're not taking off our helmets. And that seems like the religion aspect of it. Because you remember there were different, like even in Mandalore, there were the ones that were following Obi-Wan's girl, and then you had the death.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of their name either.
Oh my
They
god!
could.
But the Mandalore isn't there anymore, right? Like that planet's not there anymore.
It's still
that
there.
race or what?
It's still there. They're they're greatly
It was taking
diminished.
over the Empire. Yeah.
So in the old Republic, so like if you go back, like way back into the lore, and I know I've touched on this a little bit, but the Mandalorians were a huge race, like, and a massive power in the galaxy. And at one point, they actually go to war with the New Republic, and it's not the New Republic, just with the Republic. And they actually go to war with the Republic, and they damn near win it. And the only reason they don't destroy the Republic is because the Jedi Order founds an army, and obviously Revan leads the army, which is why I get excited about it. And the only reason Mandalore doesn't take over the galaxy is because Revan leads the Jedi army against him. So, and I don't know how long the war lasted. I'm pretty sure it was a long time, but there was a massive war between the Jedi and the Republic and the Mandalores. And Revan is the one who actually defeats Mandalore, and he kind of breaks their code. And again, I don't know how much of this has been written out of the canon. You know, they could be rewriting all this, as we'll talk about later. But in the canon, Revan takes Mandalore's helmet, and basically whoever leads the Mandalorians, they call him Mandalore, and he has, the Mandalorian helmet, and that's Mandalore's mask. So Revan takes his helmet and he hides it from the Mandalorians, and that basically fractures their society. And it's just broken up into different tribes and family groups and stuff like that. And they're leaderless because Revan takes their helmet, so they don't have a leader. In the canon, eventually Revan gives it back. But there is quite a span there where Revan takes their helmet, hides it from them, and Mandalore is leaderless. So essentially, during that war, that's when we see Mandalore as like an organized army and fighting unit. That's basically their fall. Now, we still know the planet exists and stuff like that, and we still know they're strong, but I don't think they have ever regained the strength that they once had back in the old Republic days. Sorry,
Yeah,
that was a little
the name
off
of that
topic.
organization was Death Watch. I couldn't think of that for some reason, but yeah, but all of them. Katie Sackhoff's character. I'm just blanking on everybody's name today, but yeah, her character.
You're talking about Bo-Katan,
Bo-Katan,
yeah,
and Satine. All of them came from that culture where they didn't wear their masks like that. It's pretty much when they were, getting ready to go into battle. So that's what I'm saying, and I think they were all born in Mandalore, and then the actual this tribe, it seemed like a religious aspect. Now they have started to where, you can't take your helmet off, and that's part of the religion of being a Mandalore.
I think we're going to get a real clear explanation as it goes through. So.
And I'm wondering if it's going to be something like the original Mandalorians didn't take their helmet off, like if it was like an old code, and kind of like Ace said, it's almost a religion now, where the vast majority of Mandalorians can take their helmet off, but there's some who still abide by like the ancient laws. And I'm wondering if that's what we're seeing here is maybe the Mandalorians group is more set in like traditional, really, really old ways. Maybe the armor, follows traditional Mandalorian laws, and that's where we see you can't remove your helmet and stuff like that.
And maybe, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, bro.
No, you're good. Go ahead, man.
You just had me thinking, but maybe this is the actual reason why Pedro Pascal is upset. Is because now he's going to be around some of these older Mandalorians, like who Joey said, and they take their mask off, and Sabine will both be without. Yeah. And so because he will probably be around original Mandalorians and they do take their helmets off, then maybe that's a thing like, well, hold up, why am I still following the religion? Why is it still written that I'm following the religion when I've kind of left the fraternity to go return the child, and so I should get more screen time without the helmet? So maybe that's the argument that he's having when it says creative differences.
And that's where I'm hoping they step in and be like, hey, look, dude, like this is why we're doing this. And like Joey said, that's probably something they could fix with him. But I do really quick. I want to touch on what Aaron said. And Aaron, I don't think they're rewriting history, but when Disney bought Lucasfilm, and I'm going to touch really briefly on this because most, we've been down this road. When Disney bought Lucasfilm, they threw out the EU, which is the expanded universe. So all the books and stuff like that is it's up until the point that Disney bought it are no longer canon, and that's why you get some weird there's some lore and there's some history and stuff like that we talk about, and we talk about that as expanded universe. And some of that is canon, some of it is not. So it's kind of hit and miss, and that's why I try when I go on these side things, I try and say I don't know if this is canon or not because I don't know everything that's been written out and what's allowed and what's not. So I don't want you to think that I'm telling you if I'm telling you wrong.
Now, I did want to say this, the last thing about this whole Pedro Pascal thing. Also, we have to remember that season 2 has been filmed for quite some time. This story is, even if it did happen, it was probably 7 months ago. And
they said, so that I'm referring to, it's in an LRM online. You can go check out the article. But basically the people that went to their sources and talked about this, the people were almost like, oh, we kind of hate that this even came out because it's not a thing anymore.
Okay.
So it probably was something that happened and went by quick. But it does seem like they do agree. All the people say there was an issue that went on. It's fine. It was always their plan, though, because here's where everybody disagrees with Grace. Grace made it sound like they changed the plan halfway through because of Pedro Pascal. All the other people are like, no, the plan has always been about halfway point to show more of the bigger story of what's going on. So it sounds like all these sources are basically pointing to in Mandalorian halfway through the season that the pace is going to change to a more broader storyline than just him and the kid.
And that would make sense if he left, if he left the filming or whatever. That would make sense if he had done the majority of his scenes. Like if he's frustrated and he's basically done shooting, if the back half of the season he doesn't have a huge part, then, I could see him leaving the set and not causing a very large disruption in filming and stuff like that.
Well, I'm glad I signed up for Disney Plus today so I can watch it when it comes out.
Oh, have you not been signed up?
Nope.
Well, he was waiting.
I just did the year, so I just bought the 1 year or whatever. So I haven't been watching Boy Meets World.
We'll explain it later.
So.
I have it all the
time. The one thing about Star Wars though is they don't have very many loose lips when it comes to the Star Wars side. Unlike Marvel. Marvel has a lot of loose lips.
Tom Holland?
I got a lot of lawyers. That's why they don't give Tom Holland real scripts, though. Which is still the greatest thing ever. So. But
anyways, yeah. So I mean that's why we hear so. I mean, there's some stuff's going to come out so late. Too.
There's also, I mean, as of right at this moment, there's a lot more Marvel movies and a lot more other things going on than in Star Wars. Obviously, I think
in a shorter time frame.
Yeah, I think they're going to pick things up, but you're going to expect whenever you're dealing with a bigger cast and bigger amount of people in your franchise, there's going to be more leaks. And it's like Apple, right? They can't come out with a phone or Android without everybody already knowing about it before they release it.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Because all those factory workers are out there making money selling,
right.
Selling
phone
pictures.
cases.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's be honest. If I worked in an Apple factory and I knew it could make $100 taking a picture, I'd take a picture.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've talked a lot about the Mandalorian too, and Sabine possibly being in it. We're hoping that that's what that is. And I mean, we've also had we know that Sabine went with Ahsoka, and so she disappeared. We don't know what's happened in that time frame. But we also have somebody else that's been said that's going to be on there. We've talked about Ezra Bridger several times, which is a Jedi. So, I mean, but there's been some stuff that the guy actually released some stuff. I don't know if he was being funny or if he had an oh crap moment.
I loved the tweet.
And he's been trying to back out. But yeah, so Ace, talk about that real quick. Everybody else can talk about the other stuff we've seen on that too.
So I just excuse me. So I just think that in the case of this particular the tweet that he put out, I think honestly he is politicking to be Ezra Bridger. He's basically been doing a bunch of different tweets. Like he put a side by side face comparison of him and Ezra, like when we last saw Ezra. He also did he was in the car. He was, after he got all of the Star Wars fans riled up, then he was like, you guys, I'm just playing. I'm not playing Ezra as the Mandalorian theme music is playing in the background. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's trolling hard. And I think that he looked at the success of Ahsoka's character as far as like how she politicked to get it. And I think he's kind of doing the same thing, that he wants to play Ezra, because there have been so many reports that we're going to get some sort of live action Ezra Bridger.
Yeah.
Ahmad's spot on exactly everything he said. Because if you remember when Rosario Dawson, she even said like, it's because of the fans that she has that part, right? Because the fans kept saying stuff, kept putting this out there. And I think these people, yeah, there you go. Like Raul, they are smart and they know what they're doing. And hey, you know what? I'm looking at this and I see what he's doing and I'm going, that's who I want as Ezra now, right?
Yeah.
Like tell me somebody else. I mean, the fact that, and I don't know if y'all know much about this guy, but he's also on this thing, this fandom deal where they do like play games and stuff. And he's a nerd. He's a nerd and he's in and he enjoys the stuff. And so I love it when we can see somebody get a part that like buys into Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like they're a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
Got the shirt on right now too.
Yeah, that shirt, dude. It's got the 20th anniversary Maul shirt on.
I'll say this. If they already have somebody as Ezra, they need to fire him, bring this guy in. But I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if they pull him in to do it, or if maybe he is. I mean, who knows? But I hope he is.
Total troll.
I hope he is. I think it would be great. I haven't seen anybody better for the part. So,
but Star Wars fans freak out, and this was like 100% sold to everybody. I think.
I mean, you can't. He knew when he posted that first tweet that he knew what he was doing. Like, and I'm not sold that he's not Ezra.
I want to see Ezra so bad in live action. So
do I.
I don't want to see a stupid lightsaber gun.
I want to see Ezra. I think, I think the reason,
honestly.
Tell me, Shane, what do you think about this? I think the reason why I want to see Ezra in live action is because I want someone to get close to what I expected Luke to be that I could see with Luke. You know what I mean? Like it's the same thing even with what's the guy from the video game?
Cal.
I want to see Cal in live action because I know what he can do in the game. It's like, and that's what I grew up wanting. Like that's what, when I had dreams and played action figures, that's what my Luke Skywalker could do. You know what I mean?
Joey, I mean,
I think that's why I want it so bad.
And this is what gets me excited about a live action Ezra. Look, I was not a huge fan of season 1, early season 2 Ezra, but later in that series, Ezra just became amazing. And the potential of that series when he rode the space whales out into the middle of nowhere, like, and again, if you haven't seen it, watch it.
Spoiler alert.
All I said was space whales. It's been enough years. But the potential for where they could go with this series, like you said, like that's what made Luke Skywalker so amazing was, he's going to, old temples and he's out exploring and just built like learning the Force. Like you could do so much with Ezra on the Outer Rim or whatever out there Ezra's doing. And like I have to agree with you. You could get so much of the Luke Skywalker feel. So yeah, I mean, 100%. I'm pretty excited for this series. And if it happens, like if we have the people we have now at the helm, I mean, it could be one of the best series they put out.
Now, Queen, because you haven't really watched Rebels, just seeing him like kind of politicking for it, what do you think?
Are you talking to me?
You're the only queen.
You're the only queen we have.
Well, I'm looking at his Twitter right now. There's a crap ton of people that are for this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he looks a lot like the guy too. The only thing you need to do is change his eyes to purple, and that's it.
You gotta watch Rebels.
You need to
Listen,
watch Rebels.
because for me, they did so good with Ezra and Kanan and their ability to use the Force together. That was the coolest thing. They were doing things. Filoni was writing things and moves that they did together that you like. I don't know. That's what you wanted to see.
We need to start seeing some of this stuff in live action. Some of the stuff that Filoni did in Clone Wars and Rebels needs to make its way to the big screen.
When Ahsoka does the Force thing with both the lightsabers and they're spinning around her.
I mean, I know you can do more in a cartoon, but I mean, it's time. Star Wars has the technology. Star Wars has the money. Like
they have the money. Yes,
it's time to stop being safe. Like,
well, and it's almost the difference. Y'all remember the difference of like you see a Jedi in Return of the Jedi, and then all of a sudden we went to Episode 1, and they're like the stuff they could do with their saber. You're like, Luke could never do that.
Yeah,
I mean, the technology.
You know, that's what scares me because, like, you guys saw the saber for the High Republic and how it looked. It almost looked like the Sword of Omen.
Yes,
actually,
and you know what I'm saying. And it had the saber
crossguard.
Yeah, and I'm just like, why though? Like, I mean, the thing is that this looks cooler than any saber we've seen in the future. So why did they just dummy down the sabers then? That's what bothers me.
My personal opinion on this, and again, this is purely me being Star Wars nerd, and like. Back in this era, they did not use their lightsabers for lightsaber battles. They just didn't. Like, it wasn't a common practice. Like, they're not out battling Sith constantly. Like, this is the era of peace and prosperity. So obviously they use them to duel each other and stuff, but there was not a lot of like serious fighting going on according to the old canon. I don't know if this is going to change or not, but the Sith were in hiding for 1,000 years. So the Jedi aren't out having lightsaber battles with the Sith like they are in the new ones. So again, this is just my opinion. Is like this is the era of where like they are the top predator. Like they are cream of the crop. Nobody's going to mess with the Jedi. So it's more of like I don't really know how to describe it. It's more of like the king who has the fancy sword, right? He's got the embroidered hilt, and it's got gold and all that stuff on it. And it's flashy,
he never uses it.
But he never uses it because the soldiers' swords are basic. So as we get more into the newer Star Wars movies, and this is where my theory kind of falls apart because up until Episode 1, the Sith were still in hiding. But like once lightsaber battles became more necessary, I feel like the saber hilts would have to become more practical.
No, I get that, but I just feel like the crossguard, though, I just feel like they should have just left that to Kylo. I mean, you explained it well, the reason why he had to have it blown out on the sides. I just feel like if you would have perfected that, I just feel like somebody else would have had that way earlier than we had it 500 years before the Phantom Menace, and then nobody else had it. And Kylo kind of brought it back. Like, you missed me with that.
His was total accident, though.
His was total accident.
Well, and I think too the way that you just described this whole like how they were back then, all fancy and were the top dog. So why wouldn't it be the fanciest lightsaber you ever saw?
Like, and honestly,
regardless if they use it.
This kind of stuff doesn't bend me out of shape, right? Because like, because I get what it is. What?
Because I got a response for you, sir. You get done. I'll let you.
Okay. I was just gonna say this kind of stuff doesn't bend me out of shape just for the fact of like these are like little things like we know what the issue is. It's like as a society we've gotten our fashions change, and so of course the movies change with it. It's like episode 4, 5, and 6 feel a lot different than episode 1, 2, and 3, and so on, right? 7, 8, 9. I'm okay with those like things like that, right? Yeah. Obviously, when you're messing with like big parts of the canon, I don't like that, but I'm just like something like the way the sword hilt looks is like whatever. I can get over that. It's not a big deal to me. Go ahead. Here he comes. Phil Ace coming at me. Go for it.
How are you?
So let me get this.
Okay.
So you're okay
with the
saber being this way, but when it comes to the Holdo maneuver, you have an issue with it?
Yeah, the whole.
I'm not talking about. I'm not asking.
Oh god.
Okay, well, I got it. I'm already ready.
But the holdover maneuver is in the future. But this is
Look at her. She looks just like Padme. She loves her. She loves her.
Ahmad, I don't think you ever really listened to what I said about the holdo
so
maneuver.
that's why I'm listening. I'm listening.
Okay, my problem with the holdo mover is going forward in the future, right? I have no problem with the past of it. My problem is this literally changes everything because now it's like that's the move to end all moves. Like we should just make robots, don't even put humans in them, put them in some kind of little spaceship, make them go on warp speed and like blast these things.
Not
yeah,
warp speed.
Exactly. Yeah, well, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean, but this is a Star Wars podcast.
I just think it's what sucks about it is I just think going forward it puts I don't know. It's just like why now we're gonna have to explain this.
If we're gonna take a war, like I agree with him on this.
It's different than a lightsaber hilt.
It's 100% different. If
that hilt does not change, other than they go, oh crap, that's just a waste of space.
And we don't know. We don't know what the crossbar is made out of. Is that his kyber crystal?
Sort of omen.
I do think that it's funny that they did it then and they didn't do it earlier. That she just now thought of it, and I can accept that. That's fine. They just thought up that maneuver. That's cool, but I'm just like going forward. I feel like it just. I hope to see some better use of their
forward though.
To me,
come up with a better defense for it. But I'm
hopefully. Yeah.
What's the defense for a ship going light speed through your ship? There's no defense for that.
I just think when I see this saber, all I keep saying is thunder.
Yeah.
Thundercats.
Right.
And again, like it like as
long as it can give you sight beyond sight, we'll be fine.
I mean, look, as long as like I mean, there's really easy ways to explain out of this. Each era would have their own look and have its own feel, and like maybe as they got a new Jedi Master, that the overall Jedi Master, maybe he changes the way sabers are made. Maybe it's one of those things. Maybe he doesn't like how fancy the Jedi have become, or she, we're equal opportunity here. Maybe he or she doesn't like that. Yeah, and maybe they don't like, how fancy the Jedi have become, so they make a push for basic and simplicity, and that's why they're all in brown robes and like have basic sabers. Like,
no. I go ahead, Queen. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I don't know, when you think of people talking about civilizations, like even nowadays, where you'll be so advanced in the future, and then all of a sudden go right back to 200 years in the past.
Yeah.
So who's to say that like they didn't come in, like somebody didn't come in and conquer them and get rid of all that stuff, and that's why it's not fancy anymore.
I think I don't have a problem with that. I'm saying I personally don't like that particular saber because to me it just feels really sort of omenish. But I think I'm cool with the fact that the Jedi may have been like the high priest back then. Yeah. And then they kind of took it into a religious aspect and brought it back down to earth where they weren't rich, where they just had the essential things that they needed. Yeah, it almost feels like, again, how the Mandalorians were when the Mandalorians were this, and then somebody decided to make a religion out of it. And like, I like what they were doing, but I think you can ground this and make this more religious, and it becomes a creed thing. So I'm totally fine with that. I'm just saying I particularly did not like that saber.
I like that they're making this era so different from anything that we've seen, but it's still like obviously they can't change what's happened, right? Because this is the past. So they've got to make it unique, especially if we're going to see any sort of film out of this, like cartoon, Disney Plus, whatever. So it's got to feel unique, but you also want to make it not just what we've seen. So I like the direction they're going at. And I'm with you, Ace. Like, you got to do it within the constraints. Like, you've already set what happens in the future, so you can't go nuts. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's play within those constraints.
Though, then I think you're going to be fine with the fact that high priest, almost like they were the knights of the knights of the round table, and then they stripped all of that away, and it was like, no, we need to center ourselves because people. I just feel like people are going to get the high, they're going to think almost like how the Empire kind of tooted their nose up to anybody because they weren't they weren't prestigious enough to look them. I just feel like something like that's going to happen.
And I think they're going to get humbled. Like, honestly, I think we're going to see the Jedi at the height of their power, and like this sets up so well for them to get humbled. Like, and maybe that's what drives them back into the the brown robes and the basics necessities. Like, and it doesn't have to be the Sith.
This also brings
their high horse.
Yeah, this also brings up it also can set up a precedence in Star Wars in itself, because we've heard the reports that maybe Ahsoka is going to be starting a new Jedi Order. And so the things that I know Joey's heard this, but they were talking about the next batch of Jedi that are going to take over when they move into this new direction would be Ahsoka, Jason Syndulla, Ezra,
Cal Kestis.
from Cal, and I think those were essentially the ones that they're going to kind of
And the little boy with the broom that catches it.
Broom boy.
Broom kid.
Broom boy.
I mean, are we just going to pretend Rey doesn't exist?
Well, they're going to be on a different place.
In the future, though. Rey's in the future.
And they're in a different part of the galaxy, because that's what I've heard, is what Ahmad is talking about, is that they're actually, what we're going to see happen with the Mandalorian and all these other things is we're probably going to go to another part of the galaxy, probably where Thrawn, what's his species called again?
So we're going to go outside of the Outer Rim.
Yeah, like out to the unknown.
We're going out to where Revan
with the
went.
Chiss ascendancy and all that stuff.
Yes, and we're going to deal with the Chiss and the other species that they battle with, and probably see all that and just deal with a whole nother part.
And that explains why they're not in 789.
Yeah, and why that's going on. All this other stuff's going on. But
the other thing too, the beautiful thing though, because we know Ahsoka has seen so many different sides of the Jedi, she's gonna take that more gray Jedi standpoint, kind of probably following more what Qui-Gon said.
Don't get me excited for Gray Jedi again. Okay, because that's what I thought we were going to see in Episode 8. Like, dude, I was all in on Gray Jedi.
Dude, Bendu will make an appearance in one of the future live action.
I would like to see that.
Mark it right now. I promise you, he will.
Listen, if you want to see Joey cry, let Jason Syndulla.
I'm already crying.
Nothing but represent his dad, and Joey is going to ball
tears streaming. It's joy. Tears of joy.
And you could go like, I mean, if this does well, then you could make this the future of Star Wars just by having them come in coming back into the galaxy that we know after the events of Episode 7, 8, 9. Like it writes itself. I'm still hardcore into the Rey Kylo baby, but this writes itself. Okay,
because now you turn.
Let's let that go.
Ahsoka into the new.
I'm just waiting to get hired. Like someone's important's going to hear this podcast, and they're going to be like, "Dude, why haven't we hired this ginger?"
Oh yeah, I'm forgetting somebody. I'm forgetting another Jedi, Baby Yoda.
Yep.
And maybe we have old Mace Windu.
How old would he be?
Who cares?
Like, how old would he be? I mean, I'm down.
Hey, by the way, y'all saw that they were there's
a rated
reports.
R Mace Windu movie.
Yeah, there's reports of him in talks with them, Disney.
Making his own series.
Does he get to say? Does he get to use language? Because if he gets to use language, I'm down.
Yeah,
it's the best rated R film you're gonna see.
Oh my god!
As long as there's snakes on a plane, I'll be happy.
Snakes on a starship.
Yeah.
There you go.
Snakes on a starship. Who put these MFing snakes on this MFing starship? Oh my god.
Okay, so real quick before we go into this next piece, we're going to talk about our sponsor real quick, because there is something extra special they're doing right now. Sonic is our sponsor.
Love you, Sonic.
But the big thing right now, let me solo myself out so you can see it. They have a thing called Limeades for Learning that's just started. I don't know if any of you guys know anything about this. It's basically you go to limeadesforlearning.com and the teachers sign up, and every time you get, I think it's a large drink, they actually will send a certain amount of that money to that teacher through Limeades for Learning. Yeah, you have to do it through I think you can go online and still sign up and do all that stuff, I think.
Very cool.
Nice.
But That is something cool. And we said we were going to try it, but our guy didn't show up. So, but I did try out the weird Halloween trick or treat
Oh, I forgot about that.
thing. It's interesting. I love all those candies. I don't know if I love all those candies together at once.
That's funny.
But
I did.
it is ice cream. So
I told you I was pretty surprised by their coffee, their cold coffee that I got. It was actually really good. So definitely should try the coffee.
Drinks are always half price in the app. Use the app for sure. So
That's the way to go.
thank you, Sonic, for sponsoring us and for all the stuff you guys do.
Speaking
Anyways,
of
okay.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Wrong podcast.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
a different one.
He's blue. Hey, you know what color blue he is? Cobalt blue, just so you know. Sorry. Go on.
Thank you for that, Joby one.
No, it's
Thank you for that, Joby one.
Thank you for that useless information.
cobalt
Thank you,
blue.
thank you, Joby one. Just what I've wanted to know.
No, there is another. Okay, so I know that Ace and Ginger Fett. That sounded weird. Ginger Fett.
Ginger
I
fat.
don't know.
It's ginger
Why is
fat.
Ace hanging out with the ginger?
Those two don't go together.
Ace is hanging out with a ginger because he loves that ginger deeply.
Anyways,
I think it's safe to say that I'm Ace's favorite ginger. Ace,
I don't know.
can you confirm this?
You're always there for me, my brother.
See that?
Put
He
them
didn't
together.
confirm it. That was a very political answer, but I'm going to just take it as he confirmed it. I'm Ace's favorite ginger. Okay? I'm going to edit that part out, make it my ringtone.
okay, let's get on with this. So they actually read a book. They didn't read it together, but they both read a book.
I
called
read
Alphabet
to Ace
Squadron.
every night for a
I'm about
month.
to say you called me every night and read it to me.
No, I didn't call him. I was in bed with you. What are you talking about? I tucked him in. Okay.
That's so sweet.
Sure. I'm pretty sure he probably tucked you in.
Whatever Ace needs.
Anyways,
Whatever Ace needs.
so get on with this book,
Weird.
Alphabet Squadron Shadowfall.
Hello, my name is Ace Kennedy, and I'm here with Ginger Fett, the $1 billion
terrible name.
success, Joby One, and the Washed Out Queen. And we are from the Marauders podcast, and we are doing our official review for Alphabet Squadron Shadowfall. This is a follow-up. This is the second book in the trilogy, and basically it kind of picks up where it left off from the first book. And there were a bunch of things that we liked and a bunch of things that we didn't like. And there's a lot of things that we did not like in this book. But it's definitely worth the read if it's something that you are definitely interested in as far as the novels. I personally like to do the
Audiobooks.
the audiobooks versus reading them because they actually sound like Star Wars. One of the big things right off the bat with this book that I didn't like is they switched the narrator. And it was jarring because of the fact, like for me, it took me almost the whole book to really re-engage with the characters because you spent so much time in the first book learning about each character and you learn their voice. And then there's familiar characters like Hera. And so her voice is kind of spot on. And then we move to the second book, and there's no disrespect to the lady that read for the second book, but it was jarring because she's an older woman. And so it gave the characters a very old sound. They sounded like grandmothers. And it just really, really kind of took you out of the book straight from the get-go. The other things, it was just some plot points that really didn't line up well. I don't know where they're going with the rest of the story, but there were just a lot of things that just really didn't line up. And they had a lot of issues. Shane, did you have certain things that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I'm
again.
gonna try and keep it spoiler free as best I can. I'm not very good at that, but to me, coming out of the first book, I was excited. Like I liked the direction. Like the first book felt like a lot of setup, and I was excited for maybe where the direction was taking us in book two. So I came into book two with some pretty decent expectations of like where are they going to go with this? What are they going to set up? And my big problem with this book, and the reason that I have a really hard time recommending it, is I feel like we spent most of this book repeating what happened in book one. The major plot points with Quill and her squadron not trusting her and stuff like that. It felt like we really got to the root of that at the end of book one, but all through book two, we essentially rehashed the same issues. And go ahead, Ace.
No, I'm saying you're absolutely correct. It felt like that we did reestablish. They took that trope and carried it on into the next book, and it really affected some of the climax points within this book, and it caused it was so jarring.
Yes.
And I'm glad that we read them separately and never really talked about it until after we completed the book, because we both had that same reaction just to a bunch of the same tropes that were going on. And it just really felt like they didn't have a direction for where they were trying to go, because they set up a character toward the end of the story in book one. And in book two, that character was barely in the story. And then it just didn't line up. Like they made mention of the character, but the character himself was not really present until later on towards the book. So it was just a lot of plot stuff that they just didn't seem to work out. And I really want to know why they chose to go with a different narrator, because it was that jarring.
That jarring. I totally agree
Does
with
that
you.
sound like anything else that we usually talk about?
I'm trying to keep it specifically to this book. Okay? But to me, and me and Ace talked about it, like I told Ace I need him to listen to this series because like at the end of the second book, I was frustrated and I was like, I wanted to vent, but I wanted someone else that I wanted him to come into it clean, and I wanted to see if it was just me. And it felt like, it almost felt like we got to book two and they didn't know what they were going to do at the end of book one. So book two feels like a rewrite of book one to me. And it left so many glaring holes. Like they set up there's some cool tropes, like you said, and there were some things that I was excited for. And then they don't go anywhere and they don't do anything with it. And then
hold on. Your voice went all scratchy.
I loved it.
Droidy now.
It was my favorite.
is it still?
Yes.
Yeah, back out and come back in. Let's see if it fixes it real quick.
Yeah. But basically what he was saying is that and I don't know if for a fact that the writers stayed consistent with book 1, 2, and 3, but it just felt like it felt really jarring as far as like they had everything set up for book 1 and then they just kind of repeated everything in book 2 after those things were already established. And then it was like characters that didn't even have like the leadership aspirations all of a sudden became leaders, and there were reasons why the particular characters weren't leaders in book 1. I just don't understand how all of a sudden that particular character just became leadership material. It just made no sense for the mental health of this particular character. So like I said, there were a lot of plot points that didn't line up. There were things that there were sacrifices on certain characters made that didn't need to be made. There were just things that were happening just to happen. It wasn't necessarily a cohesive book. And like I said, I'm pretty sure that the writers were the same. It's different from where, when we talk about the last 3 movies in the trilogy where there were 3 different writers, it seemed like the same writer. So I'm really wondering where they're going to go with the story, because they set up a protagonist and then things go awry.
Yeah, pretty much. Is that better?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, pretty much what Ace said, and Ace has pretty much touched on it all. But like I don't have the excitement at the end of book 2 that I had at the end of book 1. I'm more confused, and obviously I'm down for book 3 just because I want to know where she's going to go with this. But it felt like she rewrote her trilogy in the middle, and it's very odd because book 2 felt like a rehash of book 1, and it doesn't set you up at the end as exciting for book 3.
No,
not at all.
Not a great cliffhanger at all.
No, not at all. Like I was more confused and frustrated at the end of this book. So, I mean, I would recommend reading it if you're a fan of Star Wars. But to me, this was a large letdown from the first book.
Yes, absolutely. And like he said, I do want to complete the series just because I'm sure it's going to be a third book. Matter of fact, they've announced the third book, but I'm just saying I do want to see where they go with it, but I'm definitely not as excited. And I really hope they go back and get the original narrator, because like I said, there's familiar characters in here that have voices that you're very familiar with. And in this book, it changed drastically, and it's very, very jarring. So that is our review, the Marauders podcast for Star Wars Alphabet Squadron Shadowfall.
Hey, Aaron, it's called Let's
Shadows Fall is the name of this book.
Yeah, Alphabet Squadron Shadowfall.
And
is the name of the second
book. Alphabet Squadron is the name of the first book. I do not know the name of the third yet. I think it'll be released next year.
It's something about the prince. I just saw it, but I already dropped it. But anyways. Okay, guys. That was good stuff. So, real quick, Ace. So, if the voices were the same, would the book have been just as good as the first one if the voices didn't throw you off?
The book wouldn't have been as good because, like I said, there were plot points that just were completely jarring. But the voices would have helped because at least the consistency would have been there, and maybe it would have helped you. Because the thing is like in the new book, now you were trying to place who was talking because they often didn't say, well, Karen Aiden is talking now, or like you just had to assume what characters were what. And because like I said, it's a new person and they don't have the same voice. I mean, imagine you guys come to the Marauders podcast each week and then all of a sudden we had different voices like Ginger Fett. Like it would just it's completely jarring.
Yeah. And
so this is what the book looks like.
Yes.
That's the first one.
That's the first one.
Yeah. And that's Erica Quell on the front.
Yes. And it's a neat idea. I was pretty excited for the series. I like the idea. And I thought, like I said, they laid some good groundwork in book one. And I just felt like we didn't capitalize on any of that with book two. We just took the groundwork she laid.
Yeah, everything you established in book one, it was like, okay, that was a prequel. Now we're going to start with the real story now.
And then she threw some really weird things in there that I was excited about because they touched into some other books that I've read, and you're just like they don't fit and it's not organic, or she mentions it but they don't explain why or what the real purpose of it is, and like it left some things hanging for me and frustrating.
Joey, in Rebels, what is that place called? A World of Worlds, right? So they had, this is not a spoiler, but they had some World of Worlds type stuff.
Yes.
In the second book that completely had nothing to do with the story. And it was just like,
why?
What is this?
Like, Palpatine's, what were they called? His observatories?
The Sentinel droids.
Yes. So his Sentinel droids, he plays a big part, and then, or he doesn't play a big part. He's in there. And then, the places that Palpatine has where he's hidden like Sith artifacts and stuff like that. Like, one of those is in there, and that's what got me really excited. But it was really not well used. No, exactly.
It was just in there just to be in there.
Yeah, it's like 3 or 4 chapters dealing with this, and then all of a sudden, there was no purpose to it, and you're just like, what's the point? Like why did we even go down this road? So, I don't know. I mean, I can't. Yeah, I mean, I need to get to book 3 and see if she can fix this mess. But I'm with Ace. Like, there's nothing worse in a trilogy when you're listening to it if they change the person who's reading it to you. I hate it.
Yeah,
anyway.
I get that.
Yeah.
But we're going to leave it on this note. Joey will be happy. We want Ezra.
We do want Ezra.
We want Ezra.
I think he's already in. I think he's doing it, and I think this is his way of leaking it.
Yeah.
Agree. I do think he's the guy.
I think he's the guy, and he's leaking it because even his little video, well, guys, I'm not. He ends it with a wink, like, guys. I think he's.
Now I did want to say too, y'all. I had to go. Okay, so we've been watching. I've been just trying to consume as much Star Wars as possible, and. I've watched all the Rebels. I've watched all the Clone Wars. I started Resistance and gave up on it. I'm here to tell you that I started watching Resistance again. I'm on season 2 now, and it's not as bad as I thought it was.
Don't pretend like you like it now. No.
I'm just being honest.
No, I'm not going to allow this. Absolutely not.
You're something to allow. I can't comment on something I've never seen. Now that I've seen it, I can comment.
I haven't seen it either, but I'm going to comment on it. No.
Do you see the angry face? Do you see it?
This is angry face, okay?
let's
Angry face.
We need a close up of angry face. Is that?
Can you pull that up? This is angry face. Okay, this is angry ginger. Can you see it?
It's frightening.
It should be frightening. Just for the record, this is the Boba Fett prototype helmet from the Black Series. It's got a little light up targeting rectal with 2 blinking lights. So
It seems like it should be on the other side so you could see it.
I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm looking kind of through these little slots, and I cannot see this. So, from a targeting standpoint, I'm not sure what Boba
It's
Fett was
pretty
doing.
terrible.
This could be why it's a prototype, because my eyes are like right here, and I'm kind of looking through this. And I have to like do this if I want to see through. So
See, that looks way more angry than the other look.
yeah,
did.
I guess I could tilt down. Like, way to go, Ace. Like, stop. Nobody likes that show. Okay, this is happy. This is happy prototype. So yeah.
All I gotta say, sir, is you just need to hug that belt a little tighter, because I'm telling you, people are coming for it at the end of this month.
They can come get it. Okay. No, nobody's taking that belt. Nobody.
Okay, guys.
We'll see.
Love all you guys that are
Don't start with
watching.
me. You know what? Ask Padme questions, because she will answer them, because she
I'm
loves
not
Padme. She loves Padme.
Queen
It's
on the
Queen.
block.
Oh, Queen.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm calling you Padme because that's who you love.
The Queen of Hearts.
You're Queen Amidala, but she
Off their heads.
was also Padme. Have you read those books, Washed Out Queen?
No.
You should really read those 2 books. Like, it's a really cool look, like, into how that character is and stuff. Even Ace liked them. So
I didn't realize
Okay.
they were books.
yeah, there are books.
We love you guys. Thanks for watching.
Hey, Aaron,
Jump
thanks for
back in
asking
with
so
us.
many questions.
Yes.
Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron, for hanging
Appreciate
out
you.
with us.
Yo.
Yeah.
And everybody else that hangs out with us. We love all you guys.
Yeah.
Be here next week, Thursday, 7:30. I love all you guys too.
Ginger
You're
Coke
awesome.
here.
New costume.
I'm so jealous.
Nice.